Welcome to Kim's Wellness Space, the podcast. If you are new to my podcast, my name is Kim McIntyre, and normally you will find me hanging out over on Instagram at Kim's Wellness Space. If you are listening for the first time, we are actually on season 5, so there's plenty to go back and listen to. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's not so many because YouTube was a newer addition, but you can go find the other podcast on all normal podcasting platforms. Okay, so the last podcast I did, I had a guest and we talked Tough Mudder and we talked training. So I thought this time, I'm by myself, no guest today, that I would go in a bit more detail about the training, but actually about being realistic with your training, being realistic with the fact that life happens and how we can be accountable to ourselves. We can keep going. This doesn't have to be like this major disaster if we go off our plan slightly. It doesn't mean we failed. It just means that we rejiggle and we sort ourselves back out again. No problem. So let's go back a little bit. So if we go back to the beginning of April, that's when I decided that actually I wanted to really focus in on my training. So I was already doing training. My nutrition, I know what I'm doing. I'm hydrated. I get good sleep. I have a good morning routine and a good nighttime routine. All that stuff is in place. But sometimes when we've been doing these things for a while, we just find that we're actually coasting. And so I wasn't doing anything wrong, but nothing was changing or improving. And I do want to get fitter and stronger and healthier and, because who wouldn't? So it was a good opportunity for me to sit back and have a look at what I was doing and then say, okay, so this is what I'm doing at the moment to maintain. This is what maybe I could do to move myself forward towards my goals. And my goal is a long-term goal. So I'm not doing this for any quick fix. I'm not doing it to get into a black dress in 2 weeks' time or anything like that. My aim for my health and fitness and my overall wellness is that I can be a kick-ass old granny. And, I want to be that 90-year-old that can still run around with her great grandchildren or whatever. So that's my long-term goal. I have, of course, got this Tough Mudder coming in September. And so, why not use that as extra incentive to get going? So at the beginning of April, I did my measurements. I did weigh myself, but I don't tend to weigh myself often, but I'm using it all as data. And then I spoke to my PT because although I'm a qualified yoga teacher, I'm not qualified PT. So I wanted to get her advice on what she thought I should do because I didn't want to overload myself. And so we came up with a plan. So I was working out Monday to Friday, taking Saturday and Sunday as rest days. And it was great. I really liked it. I started off very gently with just body weight, slowly increased the weights that I was using. And yeah, it was all going brilliantly. And because it was going so well and I was feeling better, so it didn't necessarily mean that the scales all of a sudden changed, but my measurements did change, but I felt better in myself. And that's what wellness is about. Like that. It's so difficult sometimes to explain to someone the difference between health and fitness and wellness because there isn't much difference. But wellness is health and fitness and more. There's lots of people that can be runners or go to the gym for hours and hours, and you might think that they are well, but they might not be eating properly. Might not be sleeping very well. They might be overtraining. So wellness is health and fitness that fits in with our life, that makes us well. That means we can live longer. We can enjoy that long life that we're living. So at the end of April, I then went back to check in with myself, like see how I'd done, looked at my data, and I decided that I was still coasting a little bit. So I spoke to my PT again and we rejiggled some things. So I dropped out the cardio that I was doing because I already walk and I swim. So as long as I'm doing both of those intentionally, so my heart rate comes up and it's not like a casual drooping about, then I have my cardio covered. And to be honest, for someone of my age, cardio doesn't actually do me any favors. Like, at different times of your life, different things work. But once you hit 50, or probably 40 actually, but I mean, I'm in my 50s, you, cardio is not going to make you strong and lean and fit. It's just going to knacker you out. And, we've got enough going on with our hormones without doing that to ourselves. So I took that out and I added in another strength training day. And on the lower and upper body day, I also added on like a core strength that goes, it's supposed to slot in with those things if you want it to. So I added those in as well. And then I was still keeping Saturday and Sunday as a rest day, because rest is super, super important. And if we're not rested, then our body can't work out properly, and it just tumbles and escalates. So we've got to make sure we've got the whole package going on. So this is good. I was happy. Everything was trundling along. We had family come and visit us, and I was really conscious that I kept my training going and I kept my morning routine going, because it makes me feel good. And if I feel good, then I'm better for everybody else. And actually, the family that we had visiting weren't early risers. So it was fine. I was still able to get up at my normal time in the morning, which is about 6, have a good couple of hours to myself to do all the things I needed to do. And then when they were getting up, I was ready for the day. They were ready for the day. It worked. But I did find, because we were eating out more with them, and that's generally not something that we do, and I can't obviously control my food quite so much when we eat out. And by control, I don't mean restrict. I just mean that, when we're at home, we don't cook with any oil. And when you go out, there are added things and there is oil, and it's fine. It's not a problem, but we don't generally go out. And so we were going out more. So that actually has an impact on my body that I can actually feel these days. It's quite interesting. Also, we were going to bed later, so it was becoming harder for me to get up in the morning, because I am someone that needs a good amount of sleep. I like going up to bed about 9:30. I'm usually asleep by 10. And that means that when I get up at 6, or I'm usually awake at 5:30, it kind of works. But when you're going to bed at 10:30 or 11, and especially if you've just eaten something that you're not normally eating, then your sleep gets disturbed. So it started, I could feel myself struggling to get up. But I kept going. And then our visitors, our family went home, and then our neighbours had arrived, and our neighbours are good friends, and they were here to get married. So then life became very hectic, because it was lots of wedding things that needed to be doing. And because we live here all the time, we have more contacts. So we were supporting women with that, which was so much fun. And then it's so lovely that they included us in everything. But again, there was a lot of eating out. There was a lot of late eating out. There was a lot of late nights. And so my early morning was really becoming a struggle, which then meant that I wasn't particularly hitting my morning routine as I like to, because I was getting up a bit later and the time was shorter. And I didn't feel that my workouts were being as good because I was tired. So, it all has a knock-on effect, doesn't it? And then on Friday, I had this very strange back spasm where I literally was standing still. I wasn't doing anything, but my lower back completely spasmed. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to put my back out or something. So Friday evening, when we were at the hen night, although I did get up and dance, I was very aware that my back was not happy. And so I was being really careful. So this week, I have completely changed what I'm doing. So I did work out on Monday, but on Tuesday I took another rest day. I have completely given up. No, that's not the right word. I haven't given up. I have completely changed what I'm doing, and I'm not setting the alarm for 6 o'clock, and I'm not making myself get up at 6 o'clock, because honestly, in the last 5 days, I don't think I've been in bed before midnight, and I feel exhausted. So I'm allowing myself to wake up naturally, which does tend to be, at the moment, I seem to be waking up around 7, but I'm not rushing out of bed to do things. On Monday, when I worked out in the afternoon so that I'd been up, my back had chance to move around and warm up. And it was fine. Today is Wednesday, and I will be working out. But again, I'm going to do it sort of later in the day, and just see how I go and take it easily. But I thought it was really interesting because I know that it's so common for us to give ourselves a hard time. And as soon as, so on Friday when I hurt my back, I knew I was having a rest day and it was in the evening. So I'd actually worked out on Friday. Um, but I knew Saturday and Sunday were a rest day. But it could have been so easy for me to say on Monday, well, I'm not going to work out because of my back. But actually, my back appreciated the Pilates that I did. Like, it didn't hurt. It's not hurting. It's fine. I'm just aware that I don't want it to hurt. So I'm being careful. And I know that because I'm not getting sleep, I'm eating out, because of all those things, I know that I'm more susceptible to injury. So I'm just being really, really super aware of me. And I can do that because I have practiced a long time, and I'm a bit nerdy when it comes to this, collecting data and seeing what different things affect your body and how they affect your body. So it's just something that I like doing. So I have all that knowledge, I have all that experience. In saying that, everybody can do it. You just, have to have the tools, you have to be aware, but we definitely can all do it. But I wanted to share the fact that, I have pulled back from my training. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to do the tough mud. I absolutely will be able to. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be a kick-ass granny at 90. Absolutely, I will be. It just means that this week I've changed things a little bit, and I think that's important for me to share, because if you are sitting listening to this podcast thinking, I really wish that I could do that, but I've messed everything up and I can't. I want to tell you, absolutely haven't messed it up, and you absolutely can do it. And it doesn't matter how many times you stop and start, stop. It doesn't matter. Like, you can still do it, and you can still make changes, and um, you can still do things for your wellness. And, if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, well, it's easy for her to say because, she doesn't work, or, I don't know, she lives in a hot country, or, I don't know, there's a million reasons that we use, isn't there, as excuses. Even if all you think that you want to do is go for a walk, if you go for a walk every day, your body will thank you for it. If you walk If you don't walk at all, say, for example, like, maybe you're listening to this, you're sitting in your chair thinking, God, I never go for a walk. I don't do anything. Go for a walk once this week. Next week, go for a walk once. And then slowly build it up, because, oh, my dogs are barking now. Because the more you do, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more you want to do. It's I was going to say addictive. I guess it is addictive, but in a good way, because the stronger you feel, the stronger you want to be. Once you know that you can pick up that, I don't know, say you start with a baked bean can for your weights. Once you've done that and it's easy, you want to find something else to see if you can, challenge yourself a bit more. Our bodies are amazing at what they can do if we just give them the chance. The biggest piece of advice that I can give you, if you are wanting to make small changes for your wellness, is look at your sleep. That would be the place that I would advise you to start. If you are getting a good sleep, you will be able to fit these other things into your life. Sleep it's amazing. Like, we know that rest is super, super important. And, our bodies work so hard when we're asleep. And if we don't give them enough time to do all that hard work that they need to do, we're already on the back foot, aren't we, when we get up in the morning? So if you're listening and thinking, oh God, I really would like to start, but I don't know where to start, I mean, please, like, I'm on Instagram, reach out, let's have a chat. But yeah, get yourself into bed a bit earlier. See if you can get 8 hours sleep. There's lots of things that I know I need to change. And once our friends go back home at the weekend, next week, my week will look different because we won't be going out to eat so much. There will definitely be less alcohol. There'll probably be no alcohol because alcohol actually damages all the good work that I'm doing. I know that. I will get decent sleep. I'll be getting up early in the morning. I'll be back to, rising with the sun. And my body will respond. It will know, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. We did this before. Off we go again. There's no, you know, I haven't done any damage by having 1 week of being a little bit more careful. To be fair, if I decided this week I wasn't going to train at all because I'm just too tired and my body's not happy, that also wouldn't matter. It's just that I want to keep myself in the routine of doing things. So when I am doing my workouts, I'm taking the lighter options or maybe no weights or the lower impact moves just so that my body's used to being in this rhythm of moving. I actually miss it when I don't do it, but I'm not over stressing it when it's already stressed from all these other things that are compounding. And the compounding, I guess, is one of the things that's important to acknowledge. It's not that we went out for dinner one night and I had one glass of wine. That's not it. It's the fact that for the last, I don't even know how long it is, we're probably the best part of 2 weeks now. Every night we've been out for dinner. Every night there's been wine. Every night, or there'd been beer. Like not endless amounts. Maybe one glass here or two glasses at the most. But it's every single night and it's compounding. So one late night doesn't really hurt. But now in the last 5 nights, it's been past midnight when I've gone to bed. So it's catching up with me now. And life is for living. We're making amazing memories. We're meeting new people. We've been included in some wonderful things this week. I would not miss that for the world. I would not want to be the person saying, I'm not having that glass of wine, or I'm not eating that with you tonight because I need to get up at 6 with the sun because that's more important. It's not more important. It is important to me, but it's not more important than making lovely memories with my friends. If when I get to be my kick-ass granny, I don't want to look back and think, wow, I spent all that time on my own working on myself and I feel amazing, but actually I haven't done anything with my life apart from work out. And it's all about balance. And that's why it's about wellness rather than health and fitness, because wellness is about balance. It's not about perfection. It's about living life, knowing what works for you, all that good stuff that I said before. So yeah, that's where we are this week. I'm being very sensible. I'm listening. I'm not overstressing my body. I'm eating really good, nutritious food when I'm in control of eating it. And by that, I mean when I'm at home. So like this morning's breakfast, I know it was brilliant. It's good for me. It's all the stuff that my body likes. Actually today we're not going out, so it's great. So I lunch and dinner will also be really nutritious, really good for me. I'm doing lots of drinking water, so I'm really hydrated. I will be going to bed early tonight, and then I know we've got a few more dinners booked in, and that's fine. If I can make sure that when I'm at home, I'm doing everything that I know makes my body work, then when I'm out doing something that maybe my body isn't so happy about, it doesn't have such a massive impact. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I haven't kind of rambled and confused you, but I really thought it was important to come on and share the fact that, none of us are perfect. It doesn't matter what you're seeing on those squares of Instagram. There are the people that look the most perfect are still doing the stuff that we all do. Like, we're just human. We're all doing it. Nobody is 100% on it all the time. And if they say they are, then they are either in complete denial or they are telling little white lie, because we all have things that happen in our life, and that it's just that's just how it is. And it's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. So yeah, this week, taking things very sensibly, listening to my body, and then next week I will get back to my training. Hopefully my back will have sorted itself out where I'm feeling better. My wellness is back up to where I want it to be. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's really, I feel like it's a terrible thing to say because it's a lovely thing to be part of somebody's wonderful memories and doing all these things. But I'm almost at the point where I'm like, enough now. Now I want to get back to my normal life. And that's just me. I am not a massive people person, and I have been very people-y, as I call it. And the way I recharge my batteries is being on my own and being quiet. So I think I'm ready for a little bit of quiet. But there's always time. There's always pockets that I can find. And yeah, it's about balance, isn't it? About living life. Like I always say, we don't live in caves. We, have to find that balance. So I really hope that this podcast has sort of explained what I'm doing, but also maybe helped you if you're, sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've messed everything up. Please don't think that. If you want to reach out to me, absolutely come find me on Instagram. If you would like to benefit from accountability coaching, I actually am running my next cycle of coaching. It starts on the 5th of June. If that's something that you think interests you or you'd like to know more, please let me know. I do free discovery calls so we can chat it out. There's no obligation to buy. But you are 95% more likely to achieve your goals if you have someone keeping you accountable. And that is absolutely what I do. And I do it in a way that is non-judgmental. We start with kindness and we celebrate you all the way along. So I would love to help you if you would like to be helped. The support is there. But if you just want to chat with no obligation, come find me on Instagram, Kim's Wellness Space. I would love to talk to you. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast today. Next week, I am hoping that I will have another guest. And yeah, I will speak to you all very, very soon.